Welcome to the Chaplain Global Consulting Group Cruise Concierge Academy series, your countdown to your cruise. As always, we are guiding your world of travel one journey at a time. The Countdown to Your Cruise series has a variety of topics to prepare you for your next cruise.
Hello everyone, this is Selena with Chaplain Global Consulting Group LLC, and welcome to our official Cruise Countdown series. Each Friday, I'll share a bite-sized step-by-step update to help you prepare for your upcoming sailing. Whether this is your very first cruise or you're a seasoned sailor, we will tackle all your pre-boarding logistics, starting with your travel documents. We'll also walk you through completing your check-in and navigating the Royal Caribbean app. Once your paperwork is set, we'll dive into planning your onboard lifestyle. You'll learn how to manage your onboard accounts and handle gratuities, and how to select the perfect drink packages and book unforgettable excursions. My goal is simple. I want you and everyone in your cabin to board that ship feeling confident and totally cruise ready. This is Selena with Chaplain Global Consulting Group LLC. Let's get ready to sail. Hello everyone, and welcome to the CGCG Cruise Concierge Academy. I'm Selena, and I'll be guiding you through today's session. To experience a ship like that at its highest level, your vacation strategy starts long before embarkation day. A seamless, high-end experience is built through specific actions taken weeks before you even pack your bags. You face a choice. Wait to make your decisions on board so you have total day-to-day flexibility, or use the Royal Caribbean Cruise Planner right now to lock in your logistics. This is the pre-cruise planning matrix. Cost ranges from discounted to premium on the bottom. Availability goes from guaranteed to sold out on the side. Booking pre-cruise lands you in the top left, securing best prices and guaranteed spots. But wait until you're on board and your position plummets here, risking premium daily rates or entirely sold-out experiences. Today, we evaluate 5 major areas: drink packages, specialty dining, entertainment, internet, and excursions. Leaving these details to chance doesn't provide freedom. It practically ensures you will overpay for the basics and miss out on the ship's best experiences. Let's start with what you will consume every day. Your food and beverage choices are the largest recurring expenses of your trip. Drink packages, whether you want soda, refreshment, or the deluxe beverage package, demand a fixed daily rate. You pay this up front for the entire duration of the cruise. In exchange, you get total peace of mind. You avoid a massive itemized barbell on your final morning, and you never have to think about the price of a single coffee or cocktail. The trade-off is that you need an honest forecast of what you actually drink. If you are a light consumer, paying that daily rate means you will end up with a negative ROI compared to buying drinks individually. This comparison table maps it out. Drink packages require an upfront cost and guarantee a set budget, but carry the trade-off of requiring heavy consumption to break even. Specialty dining follows exactly the same logic. You pay an upcharge and lock in a specific reservation time before you sail. This guarantees your table at high-demand venues like Chop's Grill or Giovanni's Table, giving you an upgraded culinary experience exactly when you want it. However, pre-booking means giving up your evening spontaneity. You are also choosing to pay out of pocket for a meal when there are already plenty of excellent included food options on board. We add that to our chart. Specialty dining gives you premium access, but costs you extra money and flexibility. With both of these consumable packages, the math is simple. You are trading day-to-day spontaneity and financial flexibility for strict budget certainty and premium access. Now let's move from what you eat and drink to what you actually do, your off-ship adventures, and your evening entertainment. For entertainment, your true input is time. You need to actively check the Royal Caribbean app and secure specific showtimes well before you board. Doing this means you secure seats for high-demand, Broadway-style productions, completely bypassing the frustrating standby lines. But you are forcing yourself to structure your entire evening around a rigid schedule. Our table shows this clearly. Secure your seat, but sacrifice the freedom to just go with the flow after dinner. Next on our list are your excursions. These require you to commit your funds to specific port activities or beach clubs weeks in advance. Early booking is the only way to secure spots at strictly limited capacity venues before they sell out entirely. The downside is that you are locked into a high-energy activity, regardless of how tired you might actually feel when that specific morning rolls around. We log excursions on the chart. You secure the adventure, but you lose the ability to change your mind on the day of port. Booking your itinerary early requires you to sacrifice day-of emotional flexibility. In return, you eliminate the risk of missing out on the experiences you booked the cruise for in the first place. Finally, we need to talk about staying connected. Wi-Fi is now a major line item in any cruise budget. By purchasing a Voom Surf Plus Stream internet package before you sail, you secure a significant pre-cruise discount. This provides access to the fastest satellite internet at sea. This flowchart shows how to stretch your investment. You can buy a single device plan, but use it across multiple devices, strictly one at a time. To switch, open your browser and type logout.com. This releases the connection so the next person can log in. The operational trade-off here is that if you forget to log out properly, the system will automatically kick the previous user off without warning the second a new device logs in. Let's add this to our final table. You manage a minor device juggle, and you cut your total Wi-Fi budget. Maximizing your Wi-Fi requires a small operational inconvenience, but it yields the highest proportional financial savings of any pre-cruise strategy we have covered today. Pre-booking is the definitive way to protect your vacation budget, provided you accurately assess your actual consumption and scheduling needs. Which brings us to your action steps for this week. First, log into your cruise planner to compare package and excursion options. Secure budget-friendly prices early, because rates are dynamic. Monitor for possible price drops. If the price goes down before you sail, simply cancel and rebook at the lower rate. Next Friday, we will discuss gratuities, your stateroom attendant, and the Adventure Ocean Club. Thank you for joining today's lesson. This is Selena with Chaplain Global Consulting Group, LLC. Executing these action steps today is what transitions you from being overwhelmed by marketing to being fully in control of your luxury vacation.
Thank you for joining this week's CGCG Cruise Concierge Academy Countdown to your Cruise Lesson 2. Please review this information and share it with the guests in your cabin and reach out if you have questions. This is Selena with Chaplain Global Consulting Group LLC reminding you that we are guiding your world of travel, one journey at a time. Knowledge, confidence, and smooth sailing. We've got you covered. You have now completed Lesson 2. However, if you would like additional information, please continue to watch each of the additional videos for more clarification. The upcoming information will relate to drink packages and options.
Hey cruisers, today we've got a full breakdown with your ultimate 2026 guide to Royal Caribbean's drink packages, including a few brand new updates you absolutely need to know before you book your next cruise. Up next. Now before we get into the basics, let's kick things off with 3 new changes that will matter to nearly every cruiser headed out in 2026. First of all, Royal Caribbean has expanded what's included in the refreshing package. This was a big deal for non-drinkers and light drinkers. As of 2025, Royal Caribbean introduced non-alcoholic spirits, wines, and yes, beers are now included with the refreshment package as long as you're of legal drinking age. The refreshment package essentially is the non-alcoholic drink package, which includes almost every single drink on board the ship that doesn't include alcohol. It used to exclude non-alcoholic beers and wines, but now includes them. So that means in addition to sodas and mocktails, you also have a wider variety of choices, and that adds to the value there. Equally important is a rule change because Royal Caribbean has officially eliminated exceptions to the deluxe beverage package rule. What this means is if someone in your stateroom wants to buy the deluxe beverage package, the limited alcohol option package that is, everybody of legal drinking age must buy it too. Royal Caribbean had previously allowed exceptions. If, say, one adult didn't want alcohol, they could buy a non-alcoholic package, but that rule is now gone. It doesn't matter if you're pregnant, recovering alcoholic, or any other excuse you may have. If one adult in the cabin wants to get the deluxe beverage package, all other adults must buy it. No more exceptions, and that's unfortunately because a lot of guests were abusing this rule, and they were trying to use this as a loophole to save money and share drink package benefits, which is against the rules. Finally, the third change is Royal Caribbean has a new hybrid option called the Refreshment Plus 10 Drinks Package. This combines all the non-alcoholic beverages plus 10 alcoholic drinks that you can use at any time of your cruise, total, not per day. It's currently only showing up on longer sailings like transatlantic and 9+ night voyages, but cruisers are seeing it pop up in cruise planner accounts, so it might be something that you might be able to see there. Now, with those 3 updates out of the way, let's cover the basics, what the drink packages are, how much they cost, the fine print, and how you can save money on any drink package. At the most basic level, a drink package lets you prepay for most of your drinks on board, so you don't have to pay the tab after every poolside cocktail or specialty coffee. You have a few different options depending on what kind of drinks you want, from sodas all the way up to unlimited cocktails, beer, wine, and more. And yes, drink packages include gratuity, so that's already wrapped into the price that you see. First up, we have the deluxe beverage package, which is unlimited everything. This is Royal Caribbean's biggest package. It includes cocktails, spirits, mixed drinks, beer, wine by the glass, mocktails, premium coffees and teas, fountain sodas and Coca-Cola freestyle drinks, bottled water, fresh juices. Basically, it's all the drinks you might want. You can even get discounts on bottles of wine. 40% off wines up to $100 and 20% off over $100, which can be great if you like sharing a bottle at dinner. Now, there's an important rule, and we kind of alluded to this already. If one adult in your cabin buys this deluxe beverage package, all other adults staying in the same stateroom must buy it too. And equally important, you may not share any drink package benefits with anybody who doesn't have it. The second drink package is the Royal Refreshment package, and this is the non-alcoholic drink package. It's the middle tier option. Lots of drink love without the alcohol. It includes unlimited fountain sodas and unlimited refills, Coca-Cola freestyle beverages, mocktails and non-alcoholic spirits, wines and beers, premium coffees and teas, juices, smoothies, bottled water. Basically, your stay hydrated, keep cool needs covered. This is the drink package that's great for people who don't drink alcohol, teens, or just those who want to have a lot of beverages without booze. And then you have the classic soda package, which is basically soda only. The soda package is the cheapest option. It offers unlimited fountain drinks with Coca-Cola Freestyle souvenir cup. If you just love soda or want to avoid paying a la carte, this might be your pick for it. And then, of course, we have the other one, which you mentioned earlier, which is the Refreshment Plus 10 Drinks package. And this is a new hybrid package on select sailings, probably longer ones, that offer Refreshment Plus 10 drinks. It gives you all the non-alcoholic benefits of the Refreshment package, plus 10 alcoholic drinks for the entire cruise, not per day. So how much does a Royal Caribbean drink package cost? Well, there's a range, and it really depends on your ship and your sailing. So keep in mind that what one person pays on Utopia of the Seas for a 3-night sailing will be different, probably, than what somebody pays on a 7-nighter on Freedom or a 14-nighter on Odyssey of the Seas. The deluxe beverage package typically has a range of around $55 to $115 per person per day. Prices can be above that, especially if you wait to book them on board, or below that during pre-cruise sales. And during big promos like Black Friday, we've actually seen prices for the deluxe beverage package under $50 a day on some sailings. The Royal Refreshment package typically ranges between $28 and $42 per person per day. And as I mentioned, this includes all your non-alcoholic drink options. The Refreshment Plus 10 drink option is around $36 to $40 per day on some sailings, but availability is pretty limited on this. And then the classic soda package. Oftentimes you can get it for about $10 to $18 per person per day. But before you reach in your wallet, grab your Bills Mafia credit card, here are the key rules and fine print you should absolutely understand. Number 1, drink packages cannot be shared. If one person pays for a package, another person in the same stateroom cannot piggyback on it. Each person needs their own. Number 2, if one adult buys the deluxe beverage package, everyone else of legal drinking age in the same cabin must also buy it. Now, this rule does not apply to the refreshment package or the soda package. It only applies to the deluxe beverage package, and there are no more exceptions to that rule. No matter which drink package you purchase, you must purchase it for the entire cruise. Royal Caribbean generally does not let you buy a package only for some days, like mid-cruise. You can't cherry pick it, like I only went on days 3, 7, and 9. If you're buying it, you're buying for the whole sailing beginning on day 1. Now, you can buy it during the sailing, like after a day or two, but there needs to be a certain amount of days left in order to get it. And at that point, you'd pay the prorated rate. But for most people, they're buying it like right at the beginning of the sailing or beforehand. Also worthy of noting is that Starbucks and specialty shops are not included. Even if you buy any of these drink packages, drinks from a Starbucks kiosk are not included and must be paid separately. Now, it's a little confusing because at places like Cafe Promenade or Cafe Latitudes or Pearl Cafe, they serve Starbucks drinks, and those are included with your drink package. But an actual Starbucks kiosk with like a Starbucks logo outside of it is not included with your drink package. Now for the part that most of you came here for. How can you save money on a drink package? There are some legit ways to do it. Number one, you can buy it before your cruise. Honestly, this is your best bet. Pre-purchasing online in the cruise planner almost always saves you a lot of money compared to buying it on board. Prices on the ship will be much higher. So no matter which drink package you're talking about, you will always get a better price if you buy it before the cruise. I'm not talking like $5 or $10 a day. I'm talking like $30, $40, $50 more. If you buy your drink package on board the ship, like the deluxe beverage package, you will pay over $100 per person per day on board the ship. It's crazy. Definitely pre-book. And Royal Caribbean wants you to pre-book. That's why they're offering these pre-cruise discounts that are available in the Royal Caribbean app or the Cruise Planner website. In addition, you're going to want to watch for seasonal sales. There are Black Friday sales, Cyber Monday sales, July 4th, New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day, third week in August. Royal Caribbean has so many different sales these days that you really want to look for them and see if there's a drink package price change. And if you do find one, you can cancel and rebook if the price drops closer to your sailing date. In fact, you can always take advantage of canceling and repricing a drink package before you're sailing all the way up until your sail date. There's no penalty for doing this. This is one of the best ways to do it. In fact, I'm going to go one step further. If you know you want the drink package, buy it now, no matter what the price is, because if there is a better price tomorrow, next week, 6 months from now, you can cancel, rebook, take advantage of the lower price. However, if by booking now and the price never goes down, it can actually go up. Sometimes Royal Caribbean raises drink package prices. So that's why you want to book it now, lock in the price, and then watch for a potential price decrease later on. Royal Caribbean also offers two other kinds of drink packages, but they're not unlimited. There's the Cafe Select card. If all you want are lattes, espresso, or something stronger than regular coffee, which by the way, regular coffee is included in your cruise fare, then perhaps Royal Caribbean's Cafe Select coffee card is the right choice for you. Unlike other drink packages, the coffee card is not unlimited. Instead, you get a physical card that can be punched every time you use the card. And every card is good for 15 punches. For every brewed coffee you order, the barista will punch a hole in the card to note how many drinks you've ordered. You can use the coffee card at Royal Caribbean coffee locations such as Cafe Promenade or Cafe Latitudes. It does not work at a freestanding Starbucks kiosk. Something else you can do with the coffee card you can't do with the drink package is actually share the benefits. You can buy one coffee card and share it between you and your spouse, you and your kids, you and an aging blogger who happens to be on board your ship. You can totally do that. Plus, the coffee card can be used on multiple sailings. Royal Caribbean clarified that rule. So if you buy it on a sailing in March and then go on a sailing in July, any unused portions from that coffee card can be redeemed on your next sailing. Royal Caribbean also offers a water package of 12 or 24 packs of 1-liter bottles of water, which are delivered to your cabin on embarkation day. The bottled water package is a convenient way to have spring water available for your use while you're sailing. It's also something that anyone that generally prefers bottled water over faucet water might want to invest in. In addition, having bottled water means you can take it around the ship with you or even on shore excursions. Remember, there's still drinking water on board the ship that's included, and the drinking water that's available at like every restaurant and bar is certainly filtered at a higher level than most public drinking water at home. The coffee card usually runs at $31 per card. The water package, 12 bottles for $39, 24 bottles for $69. Again, there can be a sale here or there that might drop it a little bit. But with all that being said, do you really need a drink package? Because Royal Caribbean includes some drinks with your cruise fare, and it offers the rest as an optional extra cost. That means you could pay for each one individually that you order. The advantage of buying a drink package is you pay one price and then get unlimited drinks. There's no guessing how big your bill is and no receipts assigned for with every drink. Even tips are included. Based on my many years of cruising, the question of needing a drink package boils down to how you like to vacation. You need to have a few drinks per day to make it a cost-saving opportunity. Otherwise, you're better off just paying for each drink on its own. The most important consideration is how you'll drink on vacation versus at home. In many cases, they're vastly different. There is no flat yes or no answer to determining if a drink package makes sense for everybody, but hopefully the considerations in this video will help from you. What I often hear most from other cruisers is over the course of longer sailings, like 7 nights or longer, is that it becomes more and more difficult to maintain that certain level of drinking per day required to get the value from the package. Now keep in mind, by the way, that you can always purchase a drink package even after the cruise begins if you find yourself drinking more than you thought. Royal Caribbean advertises that its drink packages can be purchased at any point in a cruise, provided there are at least 4 days left in the sailing. The key is to know how you like to cruise and which pros and cons of the drink package are most important to you. At worst, you're going to overpay for a drink package or for drinks on your own. In either case, you'll still likely have a great experience. Personally, I've bought drink packages for years from Royal Caribbean because of how easy it is to budget your drinks for any sailing. Without a drink package, I often find myself hemming and hawing about whether or not I really want to drink and end up rationing them in order to save money. The result is I'm just not as happy. The convenience factor alone of getting a drink package usually leads me to actually buy one. After all, you're on vacation and no memorable cruise starts off with worrying about how much the drink costs. While the upfront cost is definitely high, when you think about the premium coffees, bottled water, beer, and alcoholic cocktails that you can drink every day for one price, it makes not worrying about a big bill at the end of the cruise so much better. Plus, the drink package lets me try new drinks because there's no limit on how many drinks I can order. On the one hand, it definitely sounds gluttonous to have 3, 4, 5, or even more drinks per day. But when you look at the prices of drinks on a Royal Caribbean cruise, like a cocktail is going to cost $14 plus gratuity. So when you order 2, you're already going to be at least $30 pretty much. But of course, if you're not a big drinker, if all you can have is 1 or 2 drinks per day, and that's all you're ever going to want, then a drink package is definitely overkill for your particular needs. I think it's really important to look at a couple things before you buy the package. Number one, your itinerary. How many sea days or port days you have can definitely factor into making a drink package a good investment. While the drink packages do work at Royal Caribbean's private islands of Labadee and Perfect Day Coco Cay, they don't work while you're in other ports of call. Like if you're off the ship spending the entire day exploring Rome, that's wonderful, but that's a lot of hours that day you're not able to take advantage of your drink package benefits. But if you have a lot of sea days, well, then it becomes an easier proposition to get more value from your package. Number 2 is convenience. For a lot of people, the convenience factor is the number one reason they buy a drink package. It has less to do with breaking even or getting full value out of the drink package. It's just for some folks, they want the ease of it. Buy the drink package, have it locked in, and not worry about it. That's it. They get on board the ship, they can start enjoying their vacation and not worrying about how much the drink costs and if they should get it or something cheaper. Not to mention, you can try new drinks with a drink package. There's no risk involved if you order a drink with it, sample it, and be like, oh, this is not for me. You can order a new one. There's no lost value. They don't charge you for anything like that. And lastly, there definitely is a money-saving opportunity here. Depending on how much you drink per day, a drink package could potentially save you a lot of money. People on vacation like to indulge. They like to relax. And for a lot of folks, that involves a lot of drinking. Having 2 or 3 drinks in the morning, 2 or 3 drinks in the afternoon, and a couple in the evening, it can really make a drink package a worthwhile investment. So is a drink package worth it? The answer is, it depends. If you love cocktails by the pool, a glass of wine at dinner, especially coffees, or just want a budget up front and avoid a big bill later, then yes, a drink package can be seriously worth it. But if you barely drink soda or only have 1 or 2 drinks a day, you might not recoup the cost. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on Royal Caribbean's drink package. Is it worth it? And what compels you to either buy it or not buy it?
Are cruise drink packages worth it? Here is the real math. Before your next cruise, you're going to face a decision. Do I buy the drink package? And the answer comes down to one number. How many drinks do you actually have in a day? Because that number is the whole ball game. Here's the math that actually works in 2026. Most major cruise lines price their drink packages between $65 and $90 per person per day before the gratuities. And that mandatory 18 to 20% gratuity is the part that catches almost everyone off guard. That $72 Carnival Cheers package, after gratuity, it's $84 a day per person every day of the sailing, whether you're sitting at the pool bar or wandering around a port somewhere. Now, the break-even point. Most people will tell you you need 5 to 7 drinks a day to break even. And they're not wrong, but they're also not telling you the whole story. Because every major drink package also covers specialty coffee, smoothies, bottled water, fresh juice, and sodas. A morning latte, a poolside smoothie, bottled water throughout the day, juice at breakfast. That's $25 in value before your first cocktail even exists. Factor that in, and most packages actually break even at 3 to 4 drinks a day, which for most people on a cruise vacation is Tuesday morning before noon. Now, when does it not make sense? Port-heavy itinerary. 4 or more port days out of 7, you're paying full price for days you're barely on the ship. Or if one person in your cabin barely drinks. On most major cruise lines, every adult in the cabin has to buy the package. Run that math before you click anything. And here's something nobody puts in the brochure. The drink package isn't just a financial decision, it's a psychological one. Think of it like an all-inclusive resort. The moment you check in, the mental calculator turns off and you just enjoy yourself. No calculating every round. No checking your onboard account with one eye closed. Just a drink when you want one. And for a lot of people, that freedom alone is worth every dollar. Is the drink package worth it? For most cruisers who buy it in advance and actually use the non-alcoholic perks, yeah. And for sure, buy before you board. Pre-cruise pricing is almost always 10 to 20% cheaper than buying it on the ship. Hey, now you know. Drop a comment. Do you always buy the package or do you pay as you go? I'll see you on the water.
The upcoming information will relate to specialty dining options.
When you go on a Royal Caribbean cruise, you have the choice of eating at a specialty restaurant or the main dining room, or both for that matter, but I've got 7 reasons to eat at specialty restaurants instead of the main dining room, up next. Hey everyone, it's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Specialty restaurants on Royal Caribbean are not included in your cruise fare, but I really do think they are worth the splurge. With so much food included in your cruise fare, some people scoff at the idea of spending extra on specialty restaurants. After all, most specialty restaurants cost like $50 or more, and spending extra may seem silly when you can eat elsewhere for free. Others, however, prefer the ambiance, food quality, and cuisine options at specialty restaurants, even if they come with an added charge. Many first-time cruisers are torn between whether they should dine at specialty or stick to the complimentary venues like the main dining room and the Windjammer Buffet. It's hard to pass up the exciting specialty dining options, whether it's teppanyaki or New England style seafood, but is it worth it? Well, today I've got 7 reasons to eat at specialty restaurants instead of the main dining room on your cruise. Number 1, it's a more intimate experience. One of the main reasons passengers choose to dine at specialty restaurants as opposed to the main dining room is for the more intimate atmosphere. Generally speaking, dining at a specialty restaurant feels more like a refined restaurant on land, whereas the main dining room feels more like a banquet diner. Specialty restaurants are smaller in size compared to the main dining room, and they have more curated theming and decor. Tables are typically further apart than the dining room as well, allowing guests to have more privacy while they dine. Some specialty restaurants have outdoor seating as well. Jamie's Italian on select Quantum class ships has outdoor seating on the promenade deck, whereas Chop's Grill and the Italian restaurant on Oasis class ships feature outdoor seating in Central Park. There are few date nights more romantic than dining outdoors at Central Park while a guitarist plays classical music in the background. So if you're celebrating a special occasion or just want to be a romantic night out, dining outdoors can be an excellent option. The number 2 reason to eat at specialty instead of the main dining room is the wider ranges of cuisines. Royal Caribbean specialty restaurants offer a wide range of cuisines, from Brazilian to Japanese and barbecue. In the mood for sushi? The only place to eat sushi, sashimi, ramen, and other Japanese favorites is at Izumi, which comes at an extra cost. Likewise, if you're craving Southern American cuisine, like classic po' boy, shrimp, or grits, look no further than the Mason Jar on Wonder of the Seas. Even though the main dining room offers a themed menu every evening for dinner, they rarely offer the same cuisine that you'll find in specialty restaurants. The only nights that may feature cuisine similar to specialty restaurants is on Mexican night and Italian night, although there will be a few options compared to a specialty restaurant like Sabor or Giovanni's Table. Another good reason to eat at specialty restaurants instead of the main dining room is for the unique dining concepts. Many Royal Caribbean fans are familiar with Wonderland, the cruise line's eclectic, whimsical dining experience inspired by the tales of Alice in Wonderland. Dining at Wonderland is worlds away from the main dining room, and currently offers the most unique dining experience found at any Royal Caribbean restaurant. A restaurant like Samba Grill also offers a unique dining experience. This Brazilian churrasco restaurant offers all-you-can-eat meat in addition to a variety of appetizers, sides, and desserts. When Utopia of the Seas launches in 2024, she's going to have a new restaurant concept that's designed like a moving train car, with screens transporting guests to far-flung destinations out the window. This type of dining experience is something that cannot be replicated in a complimentary venue on Royal Caribbean. Another good reason to dine at a specialty restaurant is the cost isn't that exorbitant. In the grand scheme of a cruise vacation, spending extra for specialty dining will not cost you that much more overall in the grand scheme of your overall vacation costs. As an example, on an upcoming 9-night cruise, the unlimited dining package with gratuity is $334. Considering that dining is such an important part of the overall cruise experience, adding a little over $300 to the overall vacation costs for unlimited meals at specialty restaurants may be worth it for some people. Even if you don't want the unlimited dining package, you can usually find the 3-night dining package for around $120 with gratuity added. Considering that $120 is the cost of one shore excursion, 8 cocktails, or half a spa treatment, it's probably not a budget breaker for most people. You can choose to book the restaurant reservations individually, and if you book specialty restaurants for lunch, you can usually find some great deals. Many specialty restaurants are often open at half price at lunchtime and offer similar menus, meaning you can try a specialty restaurant for around $25. There's also an opportunity to dine a la carte at specialty restaurants, as opposed to a cover charge, of course. And these restaurants charge per item, giving you more flexibility in how much you want to spend. You can visit Playmakers and order $6 nachos for a snack, or spend $19 on udon noodles at Izumi. There's no rule saying you have to spend $50 every time you visit a specialty restaurant. A la carte restaurants can be an easy way to try different venues without breaking the bank. Another really good reason to try specialty dining instead of the main dining room is you can use your onboard credit. Speaking of not blowing your budget, did you know you can use your onboard credit for specialty restaurants? If you received onboard credit while booking your cruise, whether from a travel agent or a booking promo, you can put that credit towards specialty restaurants and dining packages. Think of onboard credit as free money. You can use onboard credit to pay for drinks and souvenirs while on board, or you can reserve items ahead of time via Royal Caribbean's Cruise Planner website. Booking specialty restaurants with onboard credit is a really nice way to feel like your specialty restaurants is free, as you won't be paying anything extra for the dining experience. If you don't have enough onboard credit to cover the entire reservation, you can still pay the remaining balance with a credit card. Another compelling reason to book specialty restaurants instead of the main dining room is for the better quality food. Now, food is subjective, I freely admit that, and many people find the food at specialty restaurants to be higher quality than dishes in the complimentary venues like the Windjammer or main dining room. Simply put, cooking for 5,000 passengers is going to be vastly different from cooking for a few hundred. Dishes in specialty restaurants are not cooked in mass quantities, allowing chefs to give extra attention to the dish before it's served. A great comparison between complimentary and specialty dining is with Italian food. You can find Italian food almost every day in the Windjammer and main dining room, from chicken parmesan to pasta and pizza, but it won't be nearly the same quality as Italian food at specialty restaurants. And while ordering a strip steak in the main dining room will be satisfying, it won't nearly be on par with the filet you can order from Chop's Grill or Giovanni's Table. That isn't to say the food in the main dining room isn't good, but specialty restaurants take the cruise ship dining quality to the next level. And another really good reason to do specialty instead of the main dining room is it will make your cruise more fun. Dining at the same venue for dinner every evening can get monotonous, even if you plan to switch between main dining and the Windjammer. Booking specialty restaurants can help break up the day-to-day routine on a cruise and give you something extra to look forward to. Instead of eating in the main dining room every evening, why not book a few lunches or dinners at the specialty restaurants? Even if you enjoy the food in the dining room, there's nothing wrong with splurging in order to have more fun on your cruise. When you look back on your cruise months later, you may not remember your fourth night in the dining room, but you will remember the fun you had at Teppanyaki or Wonderland. Like any cruise add-on, specialty restaurants are completely optional, but they can really enhance your overall vacation experience.
As a reminder, your cruise ship comes with included dining options with no additional charge. However, specialty dining is always another additional option. Did you forget about room service? Stay tuned.
To know is room service. Breakfast is a very common room service option, and to order room service you can call, or you can put this convenient hanger out of your door, and you should put it out of your door by early as possible, by 10 o'clock at night. But there is a $7.95 per room charge plus 18% gratuity, and that's for the whole order. So no matter how much you order, it's $7.95 total plus 18%. However, continental breakfast is free. So on this side of the menu, it's got your continental breakfast. All right, so that's what I was saying before the announcements interrupted me. You hang this out of your door by 10 o'clock the night before, and there's no difference in the menus that's on this versus the menu you can call. So you can either call for room service for breakfast or hang this out of your door. And when you do, you just fill out the information, the stateroom number, number of guests, so they know how much silverware, and then the times. And then you can go in here and check the boxes. Now all the free stuff is continental breakfast on the left. It's no charge. If you want a full breakfast, then there's additional items here. So that's $7.95 per guest. Please note, do not hang these up on your door on the last night of the cruise, because it will still be there in the morning, because there is no room service the morning of the cruise debarkation. So a lot of first timers don't realize that. You do not get room service on the day of debarking the ship. So don't leave these out on your door the last night of the cruise. So instead of doing this for breakfast, you can actually call room service from your phone, and then the breakfast menu is here in full. You can just give them verbally the order. But the thing is, when you order this on the phone, you can't order it like ahead of time for the next day. So if you know you want breakfast at 6 a.m. or a specific time, do the card. If you just wake up in the morning and say, hey, I want room service for breakfast, you just call, and breakfast is served at the room up until 11 a.m. So that's what the difference is between this and the menu. And also, continental breakfast is free. If you want a full breakfast, it is $7.95. You can get 2 drinks. There's 2 possible alcoholic beverages you can order, and only 2 from room service. It's a mimosa and a Bloody Mary for breakfast. Now, if you want after 11 o'clock, lunch and dinner, all the way till 6 a.m. I mean, they serve it all night, really. You can get anything you want here on the menu. It's again $7.95 per room plus 18%. And the items I really love are the Cobb salad. I love the chicken wings. The buffalo chicken wings are excellent. The salmon, the grilled salmon, is amazing. The Royal Burger, it's really, really good. Probably the best burger you'll have on the ship right there. The pizza is really good. It's just like a Sorrento's pizza if you order that. They have the quesadillas are good. And the Philly cheesesteak is really good. And the desserts, the cheesecake, yummy, yummy. So that is your full room service menu. Again, this is $7.95 plus 18% for the entire room. Now, how do you get this for free? If you are in a grand suite or above, you get any room service for free. So there's no charge for the room service in a grand suite or above. Tipping is always recommended though. And one other thing to note on room service is if you're in a grand suite or above, you can order, in addition to the room service menu, you can order off of the full main dining room menu. So for instance, if tonight is pecan crusted salmon in the main dining room, you can order that in a grand suite or above, and it's complimentary. They deliver it right to your room. So that's one of the nice perks in a sky class or a star class suite. So hopefully you have learned everything you need to know about room service.
The upcoming information will show you how to book your entertainment using the app.
In today's video, I'm gonna show you how to book shows on the Royal Caribbean app. And to get started, of course, make sure that you already have the Royal Caribbean app already downloaded on your phone. Now, once inside the app, of course, consider logging into your account. Then next, from your dashboard, look for your daily planner small window, and all you have to do is scroll it upwards. Next, from here, switch to the entertainment tab, or it actually depends of you if you're looking for activities or excursions. So just choose from the 3 options. Next is click on the show. You'll see options like Broadway style shows, aqua theater, ice skating shows, comedy acts, and other performances available on your sailing. Just choose from the options, then click on it. Next is click on Reserve Now button. Choose the show you want, then pick a date and time. Then next is add each guest in your stateroom, then confirm or press add to cart. Then next is proceed to check out. Just add in your payment information. And of course, don't forget to tick the box beside I have read and agree to the purchase terms and conditions. Then click on place order. Once done, your reservation will then appear under My Calendar in the app. Some shows release extra seats once the cruise begins, so if something is sold out, check the app often or head to the venue a bit early. Even without reservations, many shows offer standby seating. So that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you again on the next one.
How do I save money on internet packages?
If you are coming on a cruise with Royal Caribbean, you're probably asking yourself, how do you maximize their Wi-Fi plan here, this surf and stream package, because it is not cheap, and so you only want to buy as many as you need to buy. Today we're going to walk through how to best do that, how to think of your situation to purchase the right amount of devices by learning how you can, number one, sign up for the internet, and then number two, how you can use multiple devices on just one device plan. Hey everybody, it's Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, where I go on a weekend cruise just about every weekend. And I know internet at sea is a hot topic. Some people love it and have to have it. Guilty. Some people say, you know what, I'm here to disconnect. I have no desire to have it. Either way, you're going to need to log into the Royal Caribbean Wi-Fi so that you can at least access the app. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do all that. I should also mention that if you're coming on the ship, they're going to have a sheet of information that they're going to give you when you get here on exactly how to do a few of these things, but we're going to go a little bit more advanced than what they're showing you on this sheet of paper. This will get you started, but we're going to go over those pro tips that I know you all love. So the first thing we're going to do, and this is recommended by most people when they come on a cruise, is go into airplane mode. That's just a safe bet. If you're going to be buying the Wi-Fi package, use airplane mode when you're here. If you're on MSC or Virgin, to get their app to work, you actually have to be on it. I personally don't always use it, but I think for most people, especially if you're more of a novice at it, you're going to want to make sure you're doing that. So we're going to select the Wi-Fi guest network and then your ship name. So in this case, I'm on Independence of the Seas, and I'm going to click on that. Mine brings me to a place that I can sign in. And so if you do not see the sign in, you can always go to the onboardicafe.com from your browser, and that will get you to this same page. Now this is where you have a few options to sign up. The top one is if you actually want to, get the internet. If you actually want to buy a plan, you're going to click on that one. The second one is you go, Brandon, I want to disconnect, but I still need access to the app. You're going to click on that one. That also has the free chat feature in it, so you don't have to pay to be able to chat with people on the ship as long as they all are connected to the Wi-Fi and have the app. And then at the bottom, if you don't have the app already, the Royal Caribbean app, make sure you're going ahead and downloading that. It's going to make a huge difference in the enjoyment of your cruise. So I'm going to click on Access Internet because I actually have already bought a package before I came on board. So it's already preloaded. So I'm going to fill out all this information here, and then I'm going to come back as soon as that's done. So you all can't steal my identity. All right, so I just press Next after filling out all that information on my screen, and you'll see that it's bringing me to a page that already shows what I have purchased. So if you book in advance, it's automatically going to load based on your name and your stateroom. So I have two packages, or two device surf and stream, or I can do 1 day full 24 hours. There's no cost to this, so I want to go ahead and activate this package that I have here and click on Activate Internet. This is going to say, congratulations, you are now connected to the internet. And to use that, I can simply just come over here and we can go, let's just search for dogs. Perfect, and it is working, which is fantastic. All right, so you've signed into one of your devices, and now, see, if you have two devices like I do, you're going to want to sign into another one. So what you're going to do in this case is you're going to go to the browser. Well, you're going to say that. Let me step back. You're going to do the same steps. You're going to go to airplane mode on your next phone. You're going to select the Independence, and you can do sign in as well here. But what I want to show you is that if I simply come over here to the URL and I type in login.com, it's also going to take me to the exact same page. So I'm back here where I can choose to log into the internet, or I can go and just have the free package. But I'm going to fill out all this. I'm not going to fill out all this information again because I already created a username and a password. So I'm just going to click on sign into internet account, and this is where I'm going to activate this phone so that now I have two devices on my two device plan. So this is where things get interesting. So I wanted to talk to you all about how you can have multiple devices. So you're going to buy a package of one, or maybe two, and you might even get more than that. But it doesn't mean that you can only literally use just one device per the device that you're buying. What it means is you can use one device at a time. This is different on other cruise lines, but for Royal Caribbean, you buy a package for one device and you can use it on many different devices, but you can only use one at a time. So let's walk through what happens. I'm logged into two other ones here. Let me quickly log in. And so I'm now at the login screen, and I'm going to try to log in here. but it should come up with an error, and it did. So it's going to tell me that my device limit is reached. This is technically my third device now, and I've got a package for 2, so I can use 2 devices at one time. This is a third device. I'm trying to use it at the exact same time. So it's giving me an option here of switch devices. And so if I click on switch devices, it's going to connect me to the internet. But what it's going to do, it's going to kick off one of your other 2 devices. And that is based on what I call a first in, first out approach. So the first device to log in will be the last device, will be the first device that is logged out. So whatever the first device was that I just logged in, I think it was my laptop, I am now kicked out of that one voluntarily. Like, you don't even get the choice. This person just kicked that person off. So if you're sharing it with kids, that could become problematic. But a better way to do that, and you see it listed here on the bottom of the screen, though I don't think many people notice it, is it says logout.com. So if I am on a device, so I'm using my phone and I'm getting ready for bed, I can turn my phone off and allow somebody else to use that package. Or maybe I just want to go from one to the other and I want to control which one's kicked out. So if you come to your phone and click on logout.com, or just put it in your address bar, logout.com, it says you are now signed out. You can always come back and sign back in to reconnect. Or what I like to do, or normally do, is I just go to login.com and it's going to take me right back to this location. So those are some pro tips on how to best utilize the Wi-Fi, the Surf and Stream package on board Royal Caribbean. Make sure you do not buy more packages than you need to, or more devices than you need to. They are expensive. So if you can share those devices, you can come up with a game plan of how to do that. This might save you a good chunk of change if you use some of these pro tips of logging in and logging out on your phone. All right, everybody, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser. Hoping to see you on a weekend cruise soon.
Don't forget to book Excursions.
Going on a cruise is just as fun on board the ship as it is off the ship, and shore excursions are a critical part of the cruise experience. So how do you pick a good shore excursion? How do you know which one is the right choice for you? Today, I'm sharing what you need to know about picking a great shore excursion for your cruise. Here we go. Hey everyone, it's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and today we're talking all about shore excursions. Shore excursions are a major part of any Royal Caribbean cruise because a large part of your overall vacation is exploring the ports of call you will visit. You've just a few hours at each stop, but it should be enough to get a taste of what the city or country that you're visiting has to offer. The concern that a lot of people have is figuring out what the best options are to choose from and which ones are good and which are definitely a mistake. The way to be assured that you have the most options to pick and find the right one for you is definitely do your research ahead of time before you get on your cruise. Many of your fellow passengers won't really do that, if anything, in terms of researching, and will rely purely on information that the cruise line provides them. In fact, most will just wait to get on board the ship and then decide to book something. Not only is this a mistake because they can make a bad decision, but they're also wasting time on the cruise from doing fun activities and trying to figure out what a good tour would be. So I want to explore what you need to know so you can research the ports and properly make all the reservations in advance, leaving you with more time on board the ship to really do what you want to be doing, which of course is having a fun time. So let's start off with learning about the basics. On any cruise you go to, your cruise ship is going to stop at various ports of calls. You don't have to book a shore excursion. You don't even have to get off the ship if you don't want to, although most people do elect to do so. You have a choice of either booking a tour through the cruise line or booking a tour on your own. Of course, the exception is a private island like Perfect Day, Coco Cay, or Labadee. But we're talking about places like Nassau, Cozumel, Ketchikan, Rome, etc. So it's up to you if you want to book something on your own or through the cruise line. There are advantages and disadvantages to doing both. If you pick an excursion through the cruise line, then you're getting group activities managed by local companies in each port that Royal Caribbean has vetted and will stand by. Royal Caribbean also guarantees that if you take one of its shore excursions, they'll ensure that you don't miss the ship if you're delayed on the tour. Even if the ship was slated to leave, the ship will wait for your group to return or provide transportation for your group to meet up at the next port. Furthermore, if your ship cannot dock at a port for any reason, any excursions you have booked through the cruise line will be refunded completely. The prices you see for a Royal Caribbean shore excursion are set in stone, and they're not negotiable. The full cost of the shore excursion will be due upon booking, and if you were to book a Royal Caribbean shore excursion on board your ship, you could use onboard credit to pay for it. The price of a shore excursion will be no less expensive if you pre-purchase it online, although sometimes there are occasionally a sale before the cruise. but pretty much they're the same all around. Not to mention pre-purchasing before your cruise will guard against the tour being sold out. So let's review. The pros, easy to find and learn about, guaranteed return to the ship, and fully refundable if your ships get support. The negatives to booking with the cruise line are they tend to be a little bit more expensive than third-party shore excursions. These are going to be group tours, which means tours will move at the slowest person in the group's pace, and of course, there are limited offerings. Now, alternatively, you could book a shore excursion on your own or through a third party, and third-party excursions are essentially any tour or activity that you do on your own, not sold to you by the cruise line. This could be a group tour, an individual tour. Heck, it could even be you taking a taxi somewhere and doing something on your own. With third-party excursions, you're responsible for planning all aspects of the tour, so you're going to need to find a company or a person, negotiate the rate, and then find them in port and ensure you return on time. The policies of what happens if your ship cannot dock at the port and refunds can vary from guide to guide. Most, if not all, will offer a refund policy if your ship is unable to dock there, but it's definitely something to look into before you book. Prices for third-party excursions can sometimes be negotiated depending on the excursion and the guide. Some excursions will require full payment at the time of booking, but many will require just a deposit to hold your spot with full payment prior to the tour actually beginning. Third-party excursions are far less limited than what Royal Caribbean offers, and you can price shop among many competing companies to find the right tour for you. So let's review the advantages of booking on your own. Far greater variety of choices. There tends to be less expensive than Royal Caribbean's tours, and there's also the possibility of personalization and more efficient with your time. The downsides of booking a tour on your own is you're responsible for getting back to the ship on time. It requires more legwork to learn about what everything is in terms of the tour itself, and you must handle any financial dealings, including cancellations. All right, so now you understand the basics. Now, how do you pick a tour? Let's start with Royal Caribbean's excursions because they're a really good starting point because they're simple to find and give you a basis to compare to for every tour later on. To find any shore excursion available for your cruise, all you have to do is go on Royal Caribbean's website, log into the My Cruises section, and then visit the cruise planner. Shore excursions are divided up by the port you're visiting and then further categorized by the type of activity like culture, culinary, family, sightseeing, etc. You can go through each port and look at the various options to choose from. In addition to deciding if any of these tours look appealing, you should also consider the following aspects of shore excursions in themselves. Number one, what is the cost? Adult versus kids. Sometimes the price does differ. Number two, the duration. Is this tour a few hours, a half day, a full day? And of course, physical and age limitations. Be very sure to read the descriptions of any tour that sounds interesting from all aspects of the excursion. Oftentimes, the main activity is accompanied with smaller activities, such as a zipline adventure, also including a beach break or lunch. Now that you have an idea of what Royal Caribbean is offering, let's look at third-party shore excursions. Whereas Royal Caribbean's excursions are nicely laid out for you and easy to find, third-party excursions require a little more effort on your part to discover them. Between your initial port research and looking at Royal Caribbean shore excursions, you probably have a good idea of what each port offers, but there's still plenty more to discover. There are two really good resources I always go to when I want to find shore excursion ideas. Let's start with number one, TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor is a user-submitted review site that lists for hotels, activities, restaurants, and more. I find it to be a really good means of discovering popular activities as well as activities that float under the radar. For each port, just do a quick internet search for the port name and TripAdvisor. So if you're visiting Cozumel, then you would search for Cozumel TripAdvisor. The first result back should be TripAdvisor's page on Cozumel, and you can go through there and find some of the options that are available. Click around, look for activities mentioned. You may find beaches, buildings, restaurants, or other cultural spots listed with reviews and photos from other people that have been there. Read the reviews for insight into what the activity offers and what people left reviews of in terms of what they liked and didn't like about it. In most cases, you're going to find not a vendor here necessarily, but you will discover the places you maybe want to visit. And from that point, you can jump off and start Googling around. The other really good resource is a shameless plug for our message boards over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com because we have a dedicated shore excursion forum just for people looking for tours. Message boards are admittedly a little tricky to browse, but they're a wealth of knowledge. What's great about the message board is you'll not only find a list of things to do, but also activities focused on what cruise passengers will be interested in, and oftentimes there are recommendations for which guides or companies to work with. So whereas TripAdvisor gives you an idea of what's popular to do, it isn't necessarily catered towards or geared for cruise passengers, but message boards can further whittle that down. Reading through the various forums for each port you'll be visiting and read what others have to say, you might even be inclined to sign up for the message boards and post your own question to get a more personalized answer. Like TripAdvisor, your goal here is to narrow down the activities that you want to do in each port and based on basically other people's advice, descriptions, and photos you run across. If you find individual companies at this stage, that's great. Now, if you haven't found a particular company to work with, but you have kind of an idea of what you want to do, well, the next step is go back to the internet, of course, and search for the activity plus the place you're looking to do it in. So, as an example, Cozumel Beaches, New York Landmark Tour, St. Thomas Guided Tour. You're going to find a lot of listings for the kinds of tours you're going to be looking for. If your search comes back with too many results, or they're just too vague, try adding more keywords like Cozumel Paradise Beach, New York Midtown Tour Bus, St. Thomas Private Tour. And then for each operator you find that looks promising, consider a couple of questions. And I would reach out to them before you book anything to ask them some basic questions like, is the price the same for adults and kids? What happens if the ship can't dock here? What's the cancellation policy? And possibly, would you be willing to accept this amount of money instead? If the price, of course, you're looking to negotiate. You want to ask as many questions as possible to consider which one is going to be the best fit for your group. The worst thing that'll happen is they'll say no, but oftentimes these people and companies want your business quite a bit, and they're going to work with you. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Well, Matt, should I book my tour on my own or should I go through the cruise line? And to be honest, it really depends on the port and the person that we're talking about. Booking the excursion for you and your group is now a matter of weighing the pros and cons that we talked about earlier. And decisions like to book with the cruise line or not is going to really vary from person to person and port to port. I think in the end, the decision can come down to your particular comfort level with booking on your own versus Royal Caribbean. And don't forget, you don't have to make a decision right away, but the longer you wait, the greater the risk the shore excursion you want is going to sold out. This is especially true of Royal Caribbean's excursions. But of course, the nice thing about Royal Caribbean's excursions are they're cancelable. So if you book it today and you're many months out before your cruise, and then next month or next week or an hour from now, you decide, I don't really want to book that tour anymore, it's actually really easy to cancel that through Royal Caribbean's website, get a full refund. So there's no penalty for canceling shore excursion plans through Royal Caribbean. My other bit of advice is you should treat each port individually and not be concerned with if you're going to book something on your own or go with Royal Caribbean across every single port you're visiting. Oftentimes, I will mix and match depending on the port, what I'm looking to do, and my comfort level, like if I've been there before or other things I may have heard about this particular place we're going. When you get on the ship and it's time to go on your tour, if you booked it through Royal Caribbean, you'll get a ticket for that tour in your cabin waiting for you, letting you know what time and where to report to for that tour. If you booked your excursion on your own, you should have some instructions from the provider and the operator to let you know where to go, what time to meet, who to look for, etc. A couple other important things to know about shore excursions in general, and that is you probably do need to tip during most shore excursions. If your tour has a guide or a driver or both, it's fairly customary to tip your tour guides at the end of each tour. The exceptions would be that if you're visiting a country that doesn't have a tipping culture, like Japan, or if it's already included in the price of your tour and it'll stipulate that. Another secret, I think, for anybody who's traveling with families and looking to do a tour is look at the times and consider lunch. With children, it's really hard to power through lunch and keep smiles the entire time. So look to see if a meal is included with your tour, and if it's not, maybe try to arrange a time that's more conducive so that way your kids can either eat right before or right after. And if at all possible, you always want to feed your kids beforehand because it's better to go on a full stomach than end up on an empty stomach. I think the single most important thing you can do in terms of researching any tour is to read and learn as much about the tour in terms of what's going to happen during the excursion as you can. The best tours that I've ever been on are the ones in which I go on the tour because I know what to expect and it actually matches up with that. There's no surprises, no weird stops I wasn't anticipating, or longer times on a bus or a taxi or what have you. And lastly, in all ports, you can usually walk off the ship and do your own thing. For some people, it may just simply mean walking off the ship and going to a local bar or a restaurant and just window shopping. Not doing a tour in the sense of, hey, I'm going to do an activity together that's organized. Rather, just getting off the ship and exploring. You can do that, something that a lot of people that have cruised before do a lot. The thing is, if it's your first time visiting a particular port, I think it's to your advantage to do an organized tour and then save the walking on your own kind of things for other cruises in which you come back again. So there you have a look at how to pick the perfect shore excursion for your Royal Caribbean cruise. I hope these tips really do help you out in picking the right option for you. If you do the research ahead of time, I think you're going to end up with a great tour, and it just requires a little bit of work before your cruise while you're not on vacation. So that way, when you are on the cruise, you'll have a great time exploring and enjoying all the fun these places have to offer.
Thank you once again. Remember, I am here with you every step of the way as we are guiding your world of travel, one journey at a time. Chaplain Global Consulting Group promises to provide expert advice, personal service, stress-free planning, and unforgettable memories. We will see you next week for Lesson 3. The Countdown to Your Cruise series has a variety of topics to prepare you for your next cruise.